Hey everyone, Carolyn Tiger here with today's 5-minute fix, the moment. So back like 300 years ago, when I was in college, I took some engineering courses, and one of those was a physics course where we learned about a moment. So any of you engineers out there, just bear with me because this is my interpretation 30 years later. But I did talk to my husband, who is an engineer, to make sure I was getting this right. So a moment is calculated to determine stress. So I'm going to see if I can get my hand up here. So let's just say that you have this part attached to a building and you have this board hanging out here. And you have someone standing out here and it's applying force to this board. And the moment is calculated over here where this board is attached to the building. And it's the force times, so the force pushing down times the distance is the calculation of the moment. The moment is used to determine stress. So it calculates stress loads. So someone pushing down here, that's going to put a lot more pressure over here on my elbow than if I'm pushing down right here, even though it's the same weight, right? Because remember, force times distance. So force, if I weigh 5, if my force is 5 and my distance is 1, then my moment is 5. But if I weigh 5 and my distance is 10, then my moment is 50. And so you use that to calculate stress. Now, I want you to think about that in terms of living in the moment. The closer we are to the moment, the less stress we have in our lives. So if we're this person out here, way out here on this board, pushing down, far away from the moment, we've got a lot more stress that can be calculated. We're enduring a lot more stress than if we're over here really close to the moment, then our stress level goes down. So what does it even mean to live in the moment or be in the moment? Oh, and this is kind of like the buzz phrase going around, but let's talk about it. So there's the past, there's the future, and there's the present. Now we are only in the present. That's all we can do is live in the present. We can pretend like we're living in the past or pretend like we're living in the future, but we're actually only living in the present. But if what we're focusing on is the past or the future, we're not living in the moment. So let's work on, for the next, 3 or 4 days, being in the moment. We're always in the present, but let's be in the moment. When you're with someone, put your phone down and actually be with someone. When you are studying or reading, turn off the outside noise and focus on what you're doing. It's amazing. One of the things that I always thought was that multitasking was the key, because you could accomplish so much doing everything at once. But it's kind of like a computer. If you've ever been working with your computer and it's being slow, so you decide you'll do something else while it's thinking about that, all it does is slow it down more. Because you've got it thinking about 15 things at once, and it does a little bit of this one, then a little bit of this one, then a little bit of this one, then a little bit of this, and then it comes back and does a little bit of this one. So it's trying to do too many things at once, where if you just let it focus on one thing at a time, boom, it happens so much faster than if you try to do 30 things at once. So it's the same thing in our lives. Being in the moment is actually being present or paying attention to the one thing that's going on right now. So it'd be like me doing this video right now, talking to you, and that's all I'm worried about. I'm not listening to what's going on in the background or thinking about what I need to do next or wishing I had done something yesterday. I'm just enjoying what's going on right now. You and me hanging out, talking about some physics with a moment. That is how you start to become more stress-free in your world, because as you live outside the moment, that's where the stress comes in. You're worried about the past, you're worried about the future. What did I do yesterday that I shouldn't have? What am I doing in the next 5 minutes? Oh, But if I can just be free, if you think about it, it's like when someone is reading a book and they get lost in the moment, they're just reading along and pretty soon hours go by and they don't even realize it. That is what it's like to be in the moment. So start practicing that in everything that you do. And one of my tips for keeping myself in the moment is, because I have so many things on my list, right? I use a timer, and I'm a big fan of timers, and my sweet little children are now big fans of timers, because that helps me stay in the flow. That helps me stay where I want to be. I know that timer is going to go off and tell me when my time is up to stop doing whatever it is I'm doing. I don't have to worry about other things popping in, and I can be 100% focused on what I'm doing until that timer goes off, and then I can move on to the next thing. So I can be in the moment. So remember, here's your arm, your lever, your distance. Here's you out here. Here's where the moment is created. The further I am away from being in the moment, the more stress I'm creating. The closer I am to being in the moment, the less stress can be calculated. So you want less stress? Be in the moment. Have a great day.